There's an aspect of social media that I like to call the bad faith effect. I'm not sure what it's called in scientific studies, but I'm sure it's out there. Anyway, the bad faith effect is a secondary effect of the overall negativity and relative anonymity of social media. When a person attempts to describe his or her views on social media, others automatically assume the worst intentions of that person and take the argument down to the worst possible outcome. Example: person A, my friend, Officer Branson, is a good person. Cops are human beings. Person B, the police murder X number of people a year. They perpetuate a system of government-sanctioned murder to subjugate the poor and the brown. Obviously, you and your friend are complacent, and therefore complicit in this. Quit talking about humanity while you are denying it to others and taking lives. This is just an example of the bad faith effect, and could easily be switched around so that person B is harassed by person A. It is not an example of my politics. Here's the problem: person B has no emotional or intellectual connection or understanding of person A other than what he or she sees in the comment. There is no context on Officer Branson other than what person B has been seeing in their feed, examples of police brutality and murder, and there's no context on person. If all you have for context on a person is a negative perception of their views generated by your own echo chamber, you automatically take anything they say in bad faith. The worst possible way. This is one of the founding pillars of cancel culture and why real communication is so hard these days. In traditional feedback studies, you would try positive and negative responses. Negative responses like anger, getting scared are more sharply immediate, so algorithms naturally amplify things that encourage a negative response and gravitate negative people towards each other. There's more engagement by promoting negativity. I used to read, draw, write and do things that didn't involve the internet and social media. I also didn't fear missing out on things because I didn't realize that I was missing out at all. But that all changed when I got a smartphone. It was the best and worst thing that could have happened to me. I could do in-class assignments and could keep in contact with my parents during the school day. But I also had social media apps like Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit. I saw all my friends hanging out and going to parties, and I got a little angry and sad each time I saw a post like that. I became more aware that people were hanging out without me, and I never noticed before since I was always reading, but my friends couldn't indeed hold conversations and were always looking down on their phones. I got more and more absorbed into the internet, and I lost interest in the hobbies I'd had for a long time. I lost my phone on a bus, and I wasn't really too worried about it because I knew I could find it. But my friends told me if that happened to them, they would freak out because they would lose their streaks on Snapchat. They all know that they have a problem, or is becoming a problem, but they do nothing about it. I refuse to be like them. Social media has allowed me to meet new people, but it has been a waste of time and has stolen so much time I could have been using to actually talk to my friends in person, study for tests, and do things I used to do before. I have already gotten rid of almost all social media apps on my phone. I tried going back to some of them, but now they seem dull. I am almost there, but now I have to find something productive to do with my time. But I think some of my friends will think I'm weird for not using my phone as much anymore. It has already happened a little with Snapchat. Just shows how dependent they are on it. Yes, I think we would all be very surprised to see what's in other people's feeds, what surfaces as news on their phones. These algorithms are driving our seeming inability to compromise in the simplest things and find echo chambers of thought around our every whim. And it rewards any content creators that can come up with some semi-coherent explanation for the world. Thus conspiracies of the shape of Earth, climate, masks, vaccines, COVID-19, BLM, police, protests, etc. abound, with a new one around the corner being be testest against millions every day to see what piece of content is going to get our attention next. We have to regulate social media. But how? It seems next to impossible. One person's facts are another person's lies. One takedown of content is another suppression of speech. It's a fucking mess. Can we tax publishing shit? Maybe if there was a small cost, people would think twice before sharing a shitty unsourced meme. But of course, that would punish the poor, and the rich could continue to feed this shit with their crap. I don't have an answer, but this is a casino crack machine feeding us pellets of content and hurting our country's ability to agree to disagree. I think it's great when people are honest about their issues with social media, so we can all keep the conversation going and move forward. I had the same problems. Personally, I deleted social media, and I haven't missed it. My friends bothered me about Snapchat but then stopped, and I still see them in person. I don't think all social media is bad necessarily, but it's good to question why we're using it.